Good afternoon. My usual Sunday video. I'm wearing a hat. I haven't yet made a comment on the video, but it didn't come into my not intro, but the list of your videos from your subscriptions. But by some other means, I noticed that Travis, it was his birthday. Anyway, happy birthday, mate. Anyway, moving on. Yeah. So it's been a funny old week as always. Yeah, the neighbour. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about my neighbour. I talk about him enough to the local authorities. Um, yeah, it's been a funny old week. Not much has happened of particularly great excitement. I've been breaking in that little Clifton pipe. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Light Your Pipe, who was the first person who sent me a very detailed number of links about Clifton. It was Hall and Fitzgerald, which was a tobacconist and fancy goods shop in Bristol. I thought there might have been a connection to Bristol because Clifton is the rather posh part of Bristol. There's a public school there, and there's a theological college there, which strangely enough I visited in the 1980s, late 1980s, considering going there to study. It was not the one I chose ultimately. Well, really more to do with the churchmanship of the place. At the time, it was the principal of the college was a chap called George Carey, that some people might know, but those who don't, he later became the Archbishop of Canterbury. A funny man. I didn't really think much of his time as Archbishop, and since he's retired, he's become a kind of well, hard to describe really. I like the current Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, but Kerry's become I'm trying to say something. Well, his views have become a little too strident in areas which I don't think really are of a theological or biblical nature, and they're rather appalling, to be perfectly honest with you. But anyway, enough of that. So anyway, Clifton, Hall and Fitzgerald, fancy goods. I looked them up, and there's a record of them on one of the Bristol archive sites. I don't think they're still in operation, but unfortunately the archive of registered businesses in Bristol didn't. A lot of them it gave the years they were trading, but for Hall and Fitzgerald they sadly didn't. There was a couple other a good site which, if I remember, I'll put the link onto. It's silver marks, and a lot of these people had their own particular marks, and they'll be on this silver hallmark site. You may think that's wine. It's not. It's purple grape juice. So anyway, yes. So anyway, light your pipe, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody else that also was able to point me in the right direction. I had discovered that marked pipe marks, and for some reason that completely slipped my mind. But you don't imagine a mark to be a word, but I don't know if that makes any sense. So yeah, what else has been going on? Well, I'm smoking a James Upshall Hungarian with some Dunhill Nightcap that was sent to me a while ago from Germany by Hayo, and it's soon sitting there. I have to say, I don't know what it is about this time of year, the autumn. I smoked some Latakia blends over the summer. Didn't really enjoy them very much. you know, they weren't unpleasant, but I just didn't really, excuse me, enjoy them that much. So I put them away, and this time of year, all of a sudden, it becomes very appropriate to smoke them. Why, I do not know. Whether it's obviously something psychological about it, but I don't know, the colour of the falling autumnal leaves or whatever. Um, but no, so I've been smoking that in the old Nightcap in this wonderful pipe. It's an extra large one, so it's not a Magnum, but it's a big old pipe with a big old bowl. Um, Hungarians, or as some people like to call them, Pauls, after the Afrikaner leader Paul Kruger, um, no friend of Great Britain's. But that's all. It's all history now, as they say. Um, I'm not having much joy with this. Um, they're nice to smoke. The funny thing is, they're quite difficult to. Not making excuses for myself. They're quite difficult to light because the bowl's sort of direct sort of down the end of your nose, so to speak, and so you have to kind of tilt the pipe forward to or guess using your fingers where the damn thing is. I'm going to use a lighter on it. It's one of those days. Oh, there we go. It's about that's better. That's much better. Um, yeah, so they're nice pipes to smoke. I found when I first got my first one, which is again a P grade like this, made by James Upshall, but slightly smaller. Um, that it got quite moist and quite wet, and at the bottom of the little chamber here, uh, there's what will I call it? A drainage area, and it gets full up with water. Moisture, liquid gunk, and it made it go burbling away. But I guess once you get your technique in a bit, that improves. But I found smoking drier tobaccos like Orientals and Latakia, which when I go to Clive's and get a couple of ounces of say special blend and a couple of ounces of Frank's mix, the volume is very noticeably different because one has a lot more moisture in it. I found they were the better ones to smoke in this pipe because you didn't get the moisture so much. Yeah, so they're nice. I like it as a shape. It's rather eccentric. I think it's quite extreme in its bentness, and because of that, obviously, you don't, even though it's very light, this pipe anyway. It's quite comfortable. Sits in the old mouth, and you can puff away and not worry too much. The other thing that I was going to show you is this little tobacco jar I bought from France. It's got like little metal studs around it at the front. In French, it's got tabac. Um, it's quite quite a tiny little thing. I haven't used it. I think I don't know what one of those eBay purchases. You're sitting late at night, uh, feeling like you need a cuddle, and as Nico's already asleep in his basket. Oh, hello. Yeah, mother. Can you phone me back in about 5 minutes? Okay. No. Well, Mon. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh no. Well, no. G- are you in this evening? Okay. Well, give us a ring then. Okay, cause yeah, lovely mum. Okay, mother. Okay, bye, bye. Yeah, sorry about that. That was well, it was obviously my mother who's going to phone me back later. Yeah, so that little tobacco jar. I've been using these, and obviously, just a minute ago. I've been using these little Bryant and May matches. I couldn't get on with simply because it's quite a rough strike. The Vestas. I do like Vestas, and I do think the quality of the match has somewhat gone downhill over the years. I'm not blaming Swedish Match since they bought out the firm which was English, but the quality of the match themselves, and I find the heads are forever fragmenting when I'm lighting it, and I've burnt holes in my trousers, shirts, and so on because of that. Um, yeah. So anyway, the Brighton May matches are very good. I just gave up lighting hundreds of matches on a video and resorted to a lighter that just happened to be lying around. So anyway, I hope you all have a great week. No doubt there'll be an upload Thursday, I would have thought, because I should be seeing the professor. Um, we've now gone inside because of the weather, but it was lovely today when I went out with the dog. So anyway, I hope you're all well, and thanks to everybody who's put me things this week in terms of answers to questions and stuff. And sorry, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers. Nico. Nico. He's as deaf as a post these days. Nico. Get off of Jens's bed. Yeah, there we go.